Bison. Author Selzer-McKenzie. The American bison, bison, is a bovine mammal, also commonly known as the American buffalo. Buffalo is somewhat of a misnomer for this animal, as it is only distantly related to either of the two true buffaloes, the Asian buffalo, or water buffalo, and the African buffalo. However, bison is a Greek word meaning ox-like animal, while buffalo originated with the French fur trappers who called these massive beasts bœufs, meaning ox or bullock. So both names, bison and buffalo, have a similar meaning. The American bison is more closely related to the recent or European buffalo. The bison once inhabited the grasslands of North America and Asia in massive herds, ranging from the Great Slave Lake in Canada's far north, through the United States to Mexico in the south, and from eastern Oregon almost to the Atlantic Ocean, taking its subspecies into account. Its two subspecies are the plains bison, bison, distinguished by its smaller size and more rounded hump, and the wood bison, bison athabascae, distinguished by its larger size and taller square hump. Wood bison are one of the largest species of cattle in the world, surpassed in size only by the massive Asian gaur and wild Asian water buffalo, both of which are found mainly in India and Southeast Asia. It is also the largest extant land animal in North America. A bison has a shaggy, dark brown winter coat, and a lighter weight, lighter brown summer coat. Bison can reach up to 2 meters, 6.6 feet, tall, 3 meters, 10 feet, long, and weigh 900 to 2,200 pounds, 400 to 1,000 kilograms. The biggest specimens on record have weighed as much as 2,500 pounds, 1,130 kilograms. The heads and forequarters are massive, and both sexes have short, curved horns, which they use in fighting for status within the herd and for defense. Bison are herbivores, grazing on the grasses and sedges of the North American prairies. They eat in the morning and evening, and rest during the day. Bison mate in August and September. Gestation is 285 days. A single reddish-brown calf is born the following spring, and it nurses for a year. Bison are mature at 3 years of age, and have a life expectancy of approximately 15 years in the wild and up to 25 years in captivity. Juveniles are lighter in color than mature bison for the first 3 months of life. One very rare condition is the white buffalo, where the calf turns entirely white. White bison are considered sacred by many Native Americans. The American bison is a relative newcomer to North America, having originated in Eurasia and migrated over the Bering Strait. Left square bracket for right square bracket about 10,000 years ago it replaced the steppe bison, Bison priscus, a previous immigrant that was much larger. It is thought that the long-horned bison may have become extinct due to a changing ecosystem and hunting pressure following the development of the Clovis point and related technology, and improved hunting skills. During this same period, other megafauna vanished and were replaced to some degree by immigrant Eurasian animals that were better adapted to predatory humans. The American bison, technically a dwarf form, was one of these animals. Bison were a keystone species, whose grazing pressure was a force that shaped the ecology of the Great Plains as strongly as periodic prairie fires and which were central to the lifestyle of Native Americans of the Great Plains. However, there is now some controversy over their interaction. Hernando de Soto's expedition staggered through the southeast for 4 years in the early 16th century and saw hordes of people but apparently did not see a single bison. Charles C. Mann wrote in 1491, New Revelations of the Americas before Columbus. Mann discussed the evidence that Native Americans not only created, by selective use of fire, the large grasslands that provided the bison's ideal habitat but also kept the bison population regulated. In this theory, It was only when the original human population was devastated by wave after wave of epidemic, from diseases of Europeans, after the 16th century that the bison herds propagated wildly. In such a view, the seas of bison herds that stretched to the horizon were a symptom of an ecology out of balance, only rendered possible by decades of heavier than average rainfall. Other evidence of the arrival circa 1550 to 1600 in the savannas of the eastern seaboard includes the lack of places which southeast natives named after buffalo. Left square bracket 5 right square bracket left square bracket 6 right square bracket bison were the most numerous single species of large wild mammal on Earth. Left square bracket 7 right square bracket. A bison hunt depicted by George Catlin. What is not disputed is that before the introduction of horses, bison were herded into large chutes made of rocks and willow branches and then stampeded over cliffs. These bison jumps are found in several places in the US and Canada, such as Head Smashed-In Buffalo Jump. Large groups of people would herd the bison for several miles, forcing them into a stampede that would ultimately drive many animals over a cliff. The large quantities of meat obtained in this way provided the hunters with surplus, which was used in trade. A similar method of hunting was to drive the bison into natural corrals, such as the ruby site. To get the optimum use out of the bison, the Native Americans had a specific method of butchery, first identified at the Olson Chabok archaeological site in Colorado. The method involves skinning down the back in order to get at the tender meat just beneath the surface, the area known as the hatched area. After the removal of the hatched area, the front legs are cut off as well as the shoulder blades. Doing so exposes the hump meat, in the wood bison, as well as the meat of the ribs in the bison's inner organs. After everything was exposed, the spine was then severed and the pelvis and hind legs removed. Finally, the neck and head were removed as one. This allowed for the tough meat to be dried and made into pemmican. Later, when Plains Indians obtained horses, it was found that a good horseman could easily lance or shoot enough bison to keep his tribe and family fed, as long as a herd was nearby. The bison provided meat, leather, sinew for bows, grease, dry dung for fires, and even the hooves could be boiled for glue. When times were bad, bison were consumed down to the last bit of marrow.